I can only think that the UK must be going through a bad patch when it comes to politicians. I mean, it can only be.
Mm.
Uh, the current Prime Minister, after hiring convicted criminals to be cabinet members, decided to take a hiatus after only 2 weeks on the job and let the new Foreign Secretary loose to go to the US to humiliate Britain even further. Ed Milliwatt, as they call him over there, flew in on Monday to try and reach the president himself, even though he says some very salty things about him in the past. He said, the idea we share values of with a racist, misogynist, self-confessed groper beggars belief. I'm deeply worried. This is Miliband, by the way. He also said, we must do our best at home and abroad to resist the worst of Trumpism. These are dark days for America and the world. He didn't stop there. He said, I know that Trump has lowered the bar for idiocy, but, and how about this one? What is objectionable about him? His racism, his misogyny, his peculiar relationship with Russia, and most of all with the truth. And this little tidbit, he joined a Stop Trump protest against the president's state visit to the UK and said he would boycott the state dinner. So Miliband goes off just like Starmer, just like Reeves, cap in hand, to see what crumbs the US president will brush off the tablecloth in his direction, so he can return to the UK loudly bleating that the trip was a success,
Yeah.
although has nothing to offer the US. How is that healing a relationship going somewhere always on the want? That really does beg an answer. And Marco Rubio, who incidentally invited Miliband for the meeting, lapping up the latter's embarrassment, I'm sure he offered the invite just for kicks. After all, I'm sure he's pissing himself laughing. I mean, what has Miliband got to boast about except for a failed energy policy? What has the UK got to boast about on the world stage compared to the US anyway?
Okay, that's an interesting one.
I wonder, I just wondered if for their dinner, Rubio laid on a bacon sandwich for Miliband to chow down on.
Oh God. Yes. Well, um, okay. I mean, this is interesting. Having politicians and okay, business people sometimes as well go around saying peculiar things about each other and then having to extend the hand of friendship or off was it offer a torch to the devil or whatever expressions you want to use. You um okay. I don't really care about that really. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, sort of thing. And I think I don't. I know they say Trump is soft and all that. He's not. He's a hard-nosed businessman who plays at being a softie sometimes. Yeah. Okay. Maybe Miliband does. I mean, Miliband is a seasoned politician. Whatever else we may or may not think of him. Yeah. Um,
He's not very bright.
is that a qualification to be a politician? I mean,
Well, which is why I said I think the UK is going through a bald spot
Yeah,
when it comes to quality politicians.
they're a load of wets. Well, no, I was going to say, yeah, they all appear to form a damp patch, but I didn't think that was an appropriate term to use. But yeah,
Moist, call it moist. I know that Susie Dent hates the word.
moist. Oh dear, yeah. Um, yes, I've seen that clip. Yeah, um, yeah. Okay, that's brilliant. By the way, that is was it Countdown? She's on. Yeah, if you ever
Yes,
want,
yes,
if any, if you
eight
listen,
out of 10 counts countdown.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if yeah, okay. I was going to say if there's any English as a foreign language students, I recommend watching Countdown, not the other
I,
program, please.
I can double down on Susie Dent by saying, these politicians we got is making is passing through a moist phase on the gusset of life. But Go on. You go on.
Yeah. Okay. Um, there was a time where you could disagree with a politician and still understand exactly what they're talking about. Yeah. You knew
Yes.
what you're agreeing or disagreeing to.
Yeah.
I must admit, the bunch I watched Burnham do an interview the other day, um, and I didn't have a clue what he said. I mean, he spoke for about 3 or 4 minutes. He has developed. I mean, okay, politics has always been a bit of theatre, and we live with that, yeah. And they're up against with Trump. They're up against the ultimate showman as well. Let's be honest about it, yeah. Whether he's selling real estate or he's fronting a business program or something else, he's a showman, yeah. Or he can do a rally, okay. There's substance behind it, yeah. And that's the point I mean, yeah. The substance. When I say substance, he has a bit of a sharpness and intellect that people miss, and unless you study him like we have time to do, you'll miss. And that doesn't mean people I agree with everything he says or does. Yeah, I could probably, Steve could probably throw up a lot of things that I could probably disagree with. But he's a democratically elected leader, directly democratically elected leader of the US of the United States of America. Yeah, whatever, how long that.
Yeah, you're talking about Trump now.
Yeah, Trump. Yes, yeah,
Yes, sir.
not Miliband. Yeah, I'll just say Trump. Yeah,
All Burnham. All Burnham.
yeah. Unlike us British, we don't directly vote for our prime minister anyway, our leader, and we certainly haven't got one that I'd have cast any votes for personally, and as far as I know, no one else would have done. But he's won by the rules of the game.
I think we do vote directly for our prime minister simply because he's declared he's going to be prime minister before the election takes place, and so if the British people don't want uh, a a Labour leader or a Conservative
Yeah,
leader, that particular person, they wouldn't vote in their party.
yeah. I mean, um, yeah. I mean,
I mean, that's what happened in the last elections, for goodness sake.
yes, I
That's
know.
why that's why Labour ran away with it because nobody wanted to have
Yeah.
another Tory prime minister.
Well, the Tories had let us down. I mean,
Yeah, I
okay.
know. Well, for
Yeah,
whatever reason,
yeah.
nobody wanted that, so they
Well,
didn't. So they voted another way.
they didn't necessarily vote Labour. They voted, and yeah, majority of people probably agree with a certain way of thinking. We'll call it right wing for this argument. Probably 70% of the population have more of a right wing view. Um, Yet the vote is so splintered, but quite how the UK will overcome that. We, as a country, we're going to have to make decisions soon because the first past the post system is not fit for purpose.
I think it
But
is. I think it is. But that's another argument. We're talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Miliband in the US now. But
Yeah,
we could have a podcast about if past the post
yeah,
is a good system or not.
yeah. But okay. But yes, so yeah, diverse. It's an interesting conversation. But yeah, just to explain that yes, the US voted directly. Okay. So Miliband has said some hurty words about Trump. I mean,
The US, no, the
the
US does not
US.
vote directly. They vote in their electoral college.
Yeah,
Who elects the president is not the vote are not the voters. They
yeah.
they are the electoral colleges.
Well, yeah.
And the electoral college does not necessarily need to follow what
No.
what the public is saying.
Well, yeah, that's to do with the weighting because because you could end up with some states. Yeah, it's weighted for the size of states. The smaller
So
states get more of
yeah,
a say, get an equal
so
say as
so
well.
you
Yeah,
can have a majority of the public voting in one person, but the electoral college deciding
yeah,
for good or for bad in somebody else. But anyway, I digress.
yeah.
That's another part of that conversation we'll have at another time.
Yes, yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, yes. I've read a lot about it, and yes, as a commentator, I read quite a lot who did explain it, an educator.
Mm.
Um, like it or lump it, there's no perfect system, okay, admittedly. But
There you are. There, that's close. That's close to the truth.
yeah, yeah.
There's no
Um,
perfect system.
yeah, but we have to honor, and at this precise moment, Ed Miliband has been, whatever qualifications he has or doesn't have, is chasing around the world trying to be friendly with other countries.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is probably quite a good schmoozer, Ed Miliband. Um, uh, I mean, I, I must admit, I have shown some Brazilians pictures of him. This is Ed Miliband. He was, yeah, he was the green guru. Now he's this, and I said, he has a funny look about him. I'm thinking, well, yeah, yeah, if he does, he's he's he, is it he's Wallace, isn't he? The big eyes, from
Yes, yes,
Wallace and
yes.
Gromit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think yeah, you could put them. You could yeah, okay. But I mean, the guy is probably quite sharp in himself. Um, just defending Britain. Yeah, he is my country's foreign secretary. Yeah, in the words of Churchill, I'll defend England when I would always defend Britain when I was overseas. Doesn't mean I'm going to be polite when I get home. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I do wish. I mean, I don't wish anyone failure, especially not for the UK. Yeah, I hope that Ed Miliband had a very successful meeting with Marco Rubio, who's not a fool. Um,
No, he isn't. No.
no,
Rubio is
yeah,
he's got it upstairs.
yeah, in an American way. I mean, I
Yeah.
find
Yep.
him I
Yep.
find him quite interesting and studying it and how would he survive or could he survive in British politics? And this is the other thing sometimes is from one nation to another, uh, skills and um, ideas and ideals and principles, ideals are saying do not follow from one place to another. Um, I mean, this is always an interesting thing to make comparisons. What one form of government or one form of politician in one country doesn't necessarily mean we're always going to understand it in the UK the way that the Americans think, and vice versa. Um, and I think just to swap it a bit, I think the relationship between the Brazilian administration and the US administration at the moment is a little bit frosty, to say the least. Yeah.
So,
Um, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, no, just make comparisons, different ideals, different feelings about things, ways of running. Um, am I particularly comfortable with the US always telling the UK what it should and shouldn't be doing? I'm not anymore. I would be. I live in Brazil. I'm not always comfortable with it. The Brazilians being told what to do. And yeah, that's the point I'm making. That okay, Miliband has gone there. He'll probably be told, well, you should be doing this. You should freedom of freedom of speech, which I don't want actual freedom of speech in the UK. I'm still comfortable with our freedom of expression. Yeah, there is a difference. Yeah, and things like this. Trade and industry, business. I still believe the UK, and I speak as an engineer, has a lot to offer the world with technical capabilities. So I don't dismiss the UK's capabilities. We are still people of a certain age in the UK have a certain intelligence level, and literature wise, music or sort of artistic wise, we have a lot of abilities. I think the UK still has a lot to offer, even the US, in a lot of ways.
what?
Um,
What you have to support your argument there by giving at least one, just one, because
sat
I can't see anything.
Satellite technology, yes. Computer technology, a lot of coming out of Cambridge and places. The
Do you think Elon Musk might have a little
I don't think Elon Musk
bit about
has
that?
got. I don't think so. I think he'd quite happily have something around Cambridge or even Oxford. Cambridge really for the technical side, and other Leicester as well. I think was always a good technological place. Southampton. I universities okay. The technical capabilities on the ground of people. Um, don't forget, I worked in industry. I met some great some good engineers as well, who probably were a bit frustrated, who wanted to go to other places like America. Um, okay, I do think that the current administration is not business in the UK, not the US, the UK is not very business friendly with the way it operates the tax system and
Do you,
development.
do you, do you think?
Well, yeah, but I think it's all part of it, and I imagine this would have been part of the conversation that our foreign secretary would have been having with even Rubio, because Rubio.
Yes, but that isn't taking anything with him to offer the US.
Well,
He'll be trying to defend. He'll be trying to defend the way they do things in the UK, which is not offering anything. It's just being on the back foot.
well, not really. I mean, you could say, yeah, I mean, like you just said, you asked me to justify. I mean,
Yeah,
um,
I'm still waiting.
well, I've said satellite technology, car technology, I know about that's been developed in the UK.
Mhm.
Um,
Have they
um,
taken it
eh,
across to the US and said, "Do you want to use this?"
well, no, because we've got a bad habit of losing things to the US, then, like the jet engine and other
No,
things. Yeah.
you can't accuse the US of being like China.
Well, yes, you can in the past, but yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's yeah, I think that and a lot of filmmaking is still done in the UK, even for Netflix. So artistic works, and I I I'm
Yeah,
trying, and the music,
yeah,
music.
yeah, President Trump, watch this CD, watch this DVD.
Well, when I say this, some of the technical capabilities for special effects, which is highly technical stuff, is done in the UK. Even the CGI, even some of the what I call real world stuff, effects were always done in the UK.
What do you think that Ed Miliband took with him to offer the US?
I don't know. I don't know what was in his suitcase, what was in his notes. I'd be very interested.
I imagine his suitcase was very, very light.
Well, never never mind the thickness, it's the quality that matters.
That's that Ed, Ed Miliband is a quality
Well,
foreign
no, no, I'm not. I'm
secretary.
not. I'm not saying the delivery system is particularly great.
I've heard that don't shoot the messenger, but for goodness sake.
I mean, okay, presentation is a lot of is probably 70% of the the argument, admittedly. Yeah, so but like I said, I'm not going to wish Ed Miliband failure. Yeah, I hope he has however you measure success, that he has a successful visit.
No,
Um,
no.
okay, who I mean, let's think in the present administration, who else you'd send in his place who would be competent. I'm scratching my head already on that one. Um, I mean, okay, I'm going to use a phone. If I had to sell anything technical to anyone overseas and it's reforming power, you send Zia. Yeah, Zia Youssef. Technically, he's brilliant. He understands technology. He understands what UK is capable of. He could probably sell it. Um, um, I'm I mean, yes, there are others there, and business people, business capabilities. The yeah, I mean, let's be honest, Ed Miliband has done nothing but politics all his life, unless somebody knows differently from me. Um,
Means he's done nothing all his life, sir.
he understands the system.
But he doesn't. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Well,
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
okay. I mean, the current administration, Ed Miliband, he does make Yes Minister look like a documentary.